Hi, my name is Bryce Burchak, and I'm here to present an interesting and exciting opportunity for you in the form of a product called the Fridge List. I'd like to start off with some of the benefits that the Fridge List is going to provide. The Fridge List is one product that's going to provide you with healthier meals, it's going to put money back in your pocket, and it's going to allow for more free time. So you got to start off with what's the problem that this Fridge List is going to be solving that's going to do all three of those things. And I think I should give you some background as to where we came up with the concept of the Fridge List. So I grew up with two other siblings. Both of my parents were working professionals, and all three of us, the children, took part in various sports throughout the entire year. So we didn't have a lot of free time to go run errands, and so grocery shopping was something that was crucial to be effective at. And I remember from a very young age those trips to the grocery store with my mother where we're trying to go to the grocery store between getting picked up from school and trying to run to soccer practice, and mom is trying to pick up everything that she needs for those dinners throughout the week and make sure that we have lunches throughout the week as well. And we leave the store fairly confident only to get home, and mom realizes that she's forgotten four or five of those crucial components of the special dinner that week, and she bought two of the same thing that she already had, and the fridge is full, so we don't have anywhere to go with it now. And growing up, I kind of just thought that that was something that was associated with just my mom, that just my mom struggled with. And then as I became an adult, I realized that it's something that I struggled with too. And then I just kind of made the association that maybe it was a Birchok problem and that it was my mother and I's issue that we were the only ones that dealt with, until we started doing some consumer research for this project and realized that about 80% of people agreed that they struggled to manage their grocery list effectively. So it wasn't just the Birchoks at that point. It became obvious that this is a problem that a lot more people, a larger group of people deal with than initially expected. So what is the Fridge List going to do to give you healthier meals, to give you extra time, and to put money in your pocket? Well, first, I'd like for you to envision what the Fridge List looks like. And this is the Fridge List. This is something similar. This is the Nook. But I'd like for you to imagine a product of similar shape, similar size, similar design, except it'll have an e-reader attached to the bottom of the touchscreen tablet. Okay? So this reader is going to scan your receipts. So what would happen is you would come home from the grocery store and you take this receipt and you scan it through the e-reader at the bottom of the tablet. The Fridge List has technology installed in it that's going to read the items that were on your grocery list and upload them into its database. It has a nutritional database that's also going to attach to each of those items. So it's going to provide nutritional information for all those items. What it's then going to do after you load receipts over time is going to learn your shopping habits. So it's going to know how often you're buying that milk. It's going to know how often you're buying cereal, how often you're buying pasta. And it's going to start automating these grocery lists for you. Now, these automated grocery lists will be sent to your smartphone or tablet at your choice through your Wi-Fi connection. So that way you never have to worry about developing your grocery list on your own, and you understand that it's accurate because it's based off of what you've been doing and what you've chosen to manually deduct from the system as well. Another huge benefit to the Fridge List is that it's going to plan your healthy meals. So not only does it upload each of these items, each representing one individual grocery item, into its database, but it allows for you to plan quick, healthy, or non-healthy meals using the technology installed. So, for example, let's say you came home one night and you wanted some Chinese cuisine. There's a feature on the Fridge List where you would go to Cuisines, select the Chinese button, and then it's going to pull a recipe that's been pre-installed from your database based off the ingredients that you have already stored in the system. Okay, so it's going to use information that you already have to give you a recipe based on your impulse to have Chinese food that night. Now, if you don't have all the ingredients that you need, it can provide recommendations, or it can provide a cut down or portion of the normal size meal based on what you do have. Again, another huge benefit is that it provides nutritional information for each product, so you don't need to spend time looking at the back of the nutritional labels for each thing you have in your pantry. You can take your tablet with you, sit on the couch, scroll through while you're watching your favorite TV show. And overall, the Fridge List is going to make sure that you're in stock with the items that you need at the right time. So you don't have to go back to the grocery store and you're no longer spending money or wasting money buying items that you already have at home. So who's going to buy it? I mean, this is the big question. Who's interested in buying the fridge list? So we've determined that the target market for the fridges is going to be Americans aged 25 to 55 with moderate to high income levels who live active lifestyles. Now this sounds very, very broad, but this was the target market that we determined was most likely to make purchases based off of our consumer research. 90% of consumers in this market agreed that the fridge list met a currently unsatisfied need. And 80% of consumers within this market agreed that they would use the fridges on a daily basis. Now, how big is this market? Based on the last US Census, there are about 123 million Americans that met the definition of 25 to 55 with moderate to high income levels. Now, that's a massive target, and not to say that we're going to reach all of them, but there is a substantial amount of consumers who would be interested in the fridges within this market. Some other interesting facts about consumers is that in the last year there was a 53% increase in the amount of consumer electronics purchased by Americans. Now you would think that if there was a 50% increase in the amount that Americans spend on consumer electronics, that there would have to be some increase in the average median income household. This isn't the case. There was only about a $47 increase in the average median income household. So although there are some electronics that are going to cost only $47, I think what this says overwhelmingly is that Americans are becoming more and more likely to purchase consumer electronics, specifically in the form of tablets. So if the market is that interesting or that promising and that large, who's the competition that's going to stand in our way or compete with us? Right now, there's only two products that seem to offer the same service or similar service to what the Fridgelist would bring to the table. These are application-based products, and the two leaders were Out of Milk and Our Groceries. These are applications that can be downloaded onto your smartphone or tablet, but they do not have an e-reader that's going to scan your receipt. They require the user to add and subtract each item manually, and it doesn't have any trends that it identifies, and it doesn't have any automation. It will provide nutritional information for some of the items, both of them will, but it's also not going to automate those healthy meals for you. So although it offers the same core service, they're really requiring a lot more effort from the consumer, and thus that's where their price points come in, which are well below where the Fridgelist is going to stand. I believe that Out of Milk was offered for 99 cents and Our Groceries is about $4. So again, their base service offering the base service of what the Fridgelist would bring to the table, and the Fridgelist is bringing that service to the next level for the consumer. It is worth noting who the possible future competition could be. Companies such as Amazon, Apple, and Samsung all have some form of a tablet or electronics out there on the market right now. Should this industry take off as we expect it to, it's not unlikely to venture that these companies could enter the market. And they could do that either through altering their existing products or by developing a new product altogether to compete directly with the Fridgelist. So let's go over some of the estimated forecasts for the first 4 years of the Fridgelist. And I want to start off by kind of giving a preface to some of the sales forecasts that are behind the scenes on these numbers. So what we did for developing our sales forecast is that we looked at similar companies or similar companies who are providing similar products and looked at their growth, their initial growth. What we found was that there was an average of about 8% growth year over year. And so we used that 8% as the staple for developing our sales forecasts. We started off very modestly. I believe in month 1 we forecasted only 50 units sold, and by month 12 in year 1, 2,200 units sold for that month. From there we see a steady growth rate of 8%, and as you can see in the total profit results. I understand that year 1 we will be in the hole an estimated $168,000, and that's obviously not a good thing, but I think it's a realistic thing. I could come here and tell you that we'd be making $12 million in year 1, but that's not realistic, and it's not something that's going to benefit the business by falsifying. So although $168,000 is not a good sign, being in the hole, by year 4 figures are much more promising, with profits of over $12 million. So the Fridgelist is looking for a long-term strategy, if you will, as opposed to instant success. So who's going to do this? Myself, Bryce Birchak. I will be the acting CEO, but I'm going to need some help to make this happen. So going to need a marketing executive. We plan to have a sales executive, and we also plan to have a production executive. We're also going to need some employees to help with the day-to-day operations of the business. These are customer service representatives. These are people helping out with administrative duties. These are people who are helping get the distribution out. Miscellaneous tasks. In year 1, I believe we have 20 employees staffed to help out with these activities. So we plan to have the Fridgelist headquartered in Seattle, Washington, and we have 2 routes of distribution. One is B2B, so we'd like to distribute through retailers, and then we'd also like to have a direct purchase option for our consumers through the company website, fridgelist.com. Distribution through the website will be done through USPS or FedEx, and then distribution through large retailers such as Target, such as Walmart, such as Sears will be done through larger commercial means. But initially we expect to have most of our sales completed through these retailers, and then as word of mouth spreads and product awareness grows, we expect to see some of those sales trickle into our website, where it will be more B2C directly to the consumer, leading to a higher profit margin on each item that's sold through the website. In regards to some of the executive team members, perhaps the leading candidate to help as the production executive is Doug Birchak. Yes, that is my father, but he has a vast amount of experience in the manufacturing industry, as he spent time setting up facilities in both China and Mexico, and has a good understanding of how to keep production and manufacturing costs low to allow for a larger profit margin on the product. I'm sorry, which will be crucial, especially in the early years, as we see lower average sales numbers than some of our latter years, where the profit margin may be a little bit wider. So I think it's time to make a deal. Right now I'm investing $10,000 of my own. Fellow investors outside of this will be investing approximately $190,000. So the deal that I bring to you today is your investment of $500,000, and that will provide you with 45% control in the Fridgelist. So I know there's been a lot we've gone over. I think that 45% of $12 million in 4 years is an extremely promising venture. Not to hold back from the future profits past year 4. I think the Fridgelist has the potential to take off. I think it has the potential to begin an industry, the personal task assistant industry, whereby we could see many products follow, helping from various tasks. These are things that the Fridgelist could end up dipping into, and should that happen, 45% control in the company is going to be a very promising figure. So I thank you for your time, thank you for your consideration, and look forward to speaking with you further later.